and pursed her lips. "I know you don't understand, but other noble families will not look kindly on an action like that. Lord Vaughan in Venmoor will be even less enthusiastic. If I had to guess, I think he might view it as an act of war." "We're not trying to take his territory," argued Ben. "The mayor is offering to support us from Kirksbane's coffers. The mayor of Kirksbane is Vaughan's vassal. That is Vaughan's coin, Ben. It is stealing from him." "He sent his men with us, the Rangers," protested Ben. "His men who are now our men," retorted Amelie. "Those who lived through the battle, at least. I doubt at the time he thought they'd stay with us. Ben, taking his men, taking his gold, we can hardly expect him to sit calmly in Venmoor while we do it. We'll be lucky if he doesn't gather every able body he can and march against us." Ben grimaced. She had a point. A sharp knock on the door interrupted them. Ben opened it to find one of the Rangers standing on the other side, breathing hard. "What is it?" "Lord Ben, one of the trading expeditions found something. You should come see it." 3 bells and several leagues south of Kirksbane, Ben stood on the edge of a wide swath of destruction. "They were to head half a day south and then cut west into the forest, sir," said Commander Rish, Commander Rakash's replacement. "The sergeant came right back after they found this. Figured it was more important to report it than to continue on the training mission. We'll have another opportunity to get the Greenhorns some field experience. This—" Ben nodded. "The sergeant made the right choice, Commander." Lady Tawal delicately stepped onto the charred stretch of road and picked her way to the middle of what appeared to have been a considerable explosion. The charred area spanned 50 paces, and a large crater formed its center. All around, black ash and scattered debris spoke of a violent blast. "There are no wards or other traps that I can sense," advised Tawal. Ben walked forward and peered down into the wide crater. All he could see was flame-scorched dirt, 2 or 3 paces deep. "Bodies over here," called Reese. Ben made his way around the crater and joined Reese at the south end of the blast area, where he eyed the 6 black lumps Reese was standing over. He assumed the rogue was right, that they were bodies, but nothing resembling a person survived. "A magical attack, without doubt," murmured Reese. His hand slipped to his belt, and he unfastened one of his ubiquitous flasks. He took a swig and handed it to Ben. Instinctively, Ben turned it up and gulped a mouthful of the harsh liquor. "If it wasn't one of our mages, the sanctuary," declared Tawal. She'd moved to stand beside them. "Who else could it be?" "Is anyone missing?" Ben asked Commander Rish. The Ranger shrugged. "No one that I'm aware of. Everyone around town is accounted for. The training patrols are operating in squads of 20 or 30, so if one of them had been attacked and 6 killed, we would have heard from the survivors by now." "If it wasn't our people who were attacked," Ben trailed off, frowning. "Why would the sanctuary attack a party that wasn't ours?" wondered Reese. Ben glanced at Amelie. She had ignored the corpses and was walking around outside of the blast area, looking for clues. Better there than within the charred circle. Nothing identifiable was left there. "It could have been someone coming to join us," speculated Ben. Reese didn't respond. Instead, he dropped to his haunches and poked at the bodies with the tip of one of his long knives. It was clear he didn't agree. Ben didn't agree either, but he couldn't come up with another logical explanation. "Here!" cried Amelie. They moved to her side and found her squatting beside a stick that had been pushed into the turf. It was stripped of bark, and its length was covered in small runes that someone had gouged into the wood. Tawal turned to Reese. "Look on the other side of the blast and see if you can find a twin to this stick." "A trap?" asked Ben. "It looks like it," replied Tawal. "Remember the ward we found on the way to Northport, the one that created an invisible field across the trail? I believe this is similar, except instead of tripping a warning, it tripped an explosion," finished Ben. Tawal nodded grimly. "The sanctuary would have no reason to set a trap like that, would they?" asked Amelie. "Surely they don't expect us to come back south."